is Kian. He fell in love with passion.
My fiance knew that I was transgender before I knew.
We get a lot of backlash online.
I get a lot of hate comments.
There's one that's like, laugh my ass off, what are you? I'm gonna be calling my grandma today. She's a lesbian and overall supportive, but she thinks that God makes no mistakes, so you're supposed to be the gender you're born with.
I was worried. I didn't know if she was going to be Dr. Frankenstein or still Ken. I don't understand why a woman would want to change their body.
My name's Passion.
My name's Kian. Back in preschool. Basically, I felt like I was a boy, and they kind of bursted my bubble by telling me I needed a Peter to do that, and it made me extremely depressed, and my fiance knew I was a trans man before I was. We were sitting in the house, and she had made a joke like girl bye or something like that, and it like triggered my body. She just straight asked me, I was like, did that make you uncomfortable? And I was just like, actually, yeah, it did. And then, after that, we kind of just sat and had a talk. This is our first house, first time home buyers together. This is gonna be the house that we raise our children in. While I'm working on houses and people find out that I'm trans, I get a whole lot of confusion and hesitance.
I'd say that prior to him transitioning, finding him projects and stuff was a little bit easier and more safe. But now it's like, I use the proper pronouns. I always have to disclose prior to him going to a project that he is a trans man, because people are so like against it sometimes or judgmental and stuff.
Our relationship began at both of our family members' house, cookout, where she cussed me out and I fell in love.
I think we balance each other well. I'm more introverted. He can be introverted, but he's more like an extrovert and introverted. So he's kind of like a social butterfly when in certain settings, and I'm more like quiet.
Once you transition, it is very hard to find that love because of the way society is. A lot of people don't want to admit when they like a transitioned person. If I'm being truthful, I believe it's because she's pansexual.
I do think it's because I'm pans. It's not really a big like change for me, or I have to like self-search if I want to be identified as this. So it was just like whatever. About our second month into dating, I figured kids was trans.
I learned at a young age what self-love meant. When I see the judgment online and they're calling me she, you're always going to be a woman, it doesn't bother me because I know I'm not.
Honestly, in public, we get a lot of stares, but we don't really get like verbal judgment. I'd say it's all mainly funny. Like if we're out at a restaurant, this one time our waiter was just like, yeah, ma'am, sir, I really don't know. It was like genuine, and it was just so funny.
Most of my judgment definitely comes from social media, I would have to say. A whole lot of religion. I should have stayed the way I was born because God does not make mistakes. A lot of people asking me if I'm confused, telling me I'm delusional. On social media, I'm always hearing how I wouldn't be going through endometriosis. I wouldn't be suffering if I wasn't transitioning into a man. I have bowel endometriosis, which is endometriosis on the bowel and the rectum. So anytime I'm trying to go to the bathroom and I'm having a flare up, this is usually where I'll end up. Before my transition started, I would be in the emergency room about 2 to 3 times a week. After about, I would say 3 months of my testosterone, I wasn't having any symptoms. I wasn't in the hospital for like a year straight. Right now, I'm more so focused on the endometriosis surgery. I'm trying my best to not go and have my gender affirming surgeries until I at least have more of the endometriosis taken care of. But I do want top surgery. I don't want the chest. And I want bottom surgery sometime in the future, but it's no rush. My wife's pansexual. Love life is great. Right now I'm going through my TikTok and looking through the comments.
There's one that's like, laugh my ass off, what are you?
I have a comment here that just says, you are a woman.
And another one that says you can't cheat nature, accept who you are and how you were made. One here says that's what it means to disobey nature. Every action owns its consequences and repercussions otherwise.
It makes me feel saddened for how ignorant the world actually is. People don't seem to know a lot, and instead of doing research and trying to understand, they'd rather attack I do believe that experiencing the hateful comments and all the judgment has created a stronger bond between us as a couple and just individually as well.
We're about to call my grandma and asked her pretty much what she felt when Kits first came out as trans. My grandmother knew Kits prior to him transitioning. We've been together for 7 years, so.
Gonna need a drink for this combo.
Hey.
Hello, people. How are you?
Doing good. How's your day?
I'm good. Always good.
So what were your first thoughts when you first found out Kits was trans?
I really didn't understand the choice, and that's only because of my faith. I don't understand why a woman would want to change their body, or either a man either. I felt like she needed to think about it a little longer, but I was worried because in my generation, it didn't happen. So I didn't know if she was going to be Dr. Frankenstein or still Kits. It's just that I knew Kits before he transitioned. So it's like, okay, why don't you just put back on boy baggy clothes? Other than that, there is no issue.
Do you want to explain to Kits your worry about the process that we have to take to have a baby?
I know what a baby means to you guys personally. And my concern is failure, it not working, not taking, and the emotional roller coaster you're going to have to go through.
So what are your personal feelings on Kits as a person and as my fiance?
I knew Kits before he transitioned, so he hasn't changed. He's still Kits.
Have you noticed any changes with me since dating Kits?
I love the fact that you guys are growing together. That's a change I've noticed in you. The fact that you're even open to letting someone in to grow with you, that's amazing to me. Mwah! Love you, girls.
Love you.
Sorry, didn't mean love you, girls. Love you, girl, and love you, trans man. Have a good day.
Bye, Grandma.
Bye.
No matter if I hear she or he with her, it's never malicious, It's more like her age and just free talking.
Trying your best.
Always makes me feel welcome. Always keeps us laughing. So.
Yeah.
Passion gives me confidence. She brought that hope into me and that self-love, the confidence to be who I know I've always been able to be and just to be a stronger person overall.
What I love most about Kits is he's just naturally nurturing. A lot of men or even trans men, they're not able to be open with how affectionate and nurturing they are, but Kits owns it and I really love it. I'm not used to that, so I love it.
I believe our relationship works because we do everything that we can to truly understand each other inside and out, good and bad. We just love each other no matter what.